What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of What's It Worth with your host Sean of Blue Ridge Silverhound. Today we're going to talk about a coin that nobody ever talks about, but today it is front and center on this video. Did you come across a 1992 quarter and you're wondering how much it's worth? Well, you're at the right place. We're going to deep dive into this coin. We're going to take a look at some values. We're going to look at various errors you could find. Believe it or not, there are quite a few very valuable coins that you could find in the 1992 dated Washington quarter. So stay tuned. But before we get started, as always, I got to do my YouTube thing and let you know that if you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe. Hit the bell for instant notifications. We talk coins all day long here on this channel, and if it's information you're looking for, I'm one of the resources that you could untap in order to get everything you need to know about just about every coin that you could possibly ever think of. And of course, this summer we're doing giveaways as my way of giving back to all the patrons and subscribers. You'll want to know when a new video drops, in which I'll have a giveaway right in there. We're giving away silver, coins, gift cards, you name it. So I want to thank everyone for joining. Thank you for all the views and support, and let's go ahead and get started on this one. And we're going to start out with the 1992 Washington quarter that's minted in Philadelphia. Now on this particular coin right here, okay, you can see a tiny little letter P at the 4 to 5 o'clock position on this coin. Tiny little P. This was a time and a decade where a Philadelphia mint mark and a Denver mint mark existed. So we're going to explore the business strike coins in which are intended to be made and then used out into circulation. We're not talking about any special strikes or proofs in this broadcast. So the 1992 P Washington quarter was widely available, and it was widely circulated as well. Okay, there was no fanfare at the time when these coins were released, so there was really not a whole lot of need to save them in their mint state condition. So finding one out in circulation, whether it's in pocket change or coin roll hunting, is truly a rare sight. And if you were able to find a coin that looks fantastic, like as if it was minted on its own, these coins sell in the $3 to $5 range. Okay, I'm happy to say, because people are looking for coins that are raw condition that they want to put in albums. So just because a lot of these circulated and very few of them were saved in mint state status doesn't mean that they're still widely available. Okay, if you went through a roll of quarters, more than likely you're going to come across one or two of these. The U.S. Mint produced 384,764,000 total pieces of the 92p minted quarter. Now let's talk about grading, because this is where a lot of your value exists. This is where you're going to make a lot more money if you elected you wanted to get into grading. Okay, so the top grade assigned by PCGS, who is a third-party grader, is Mint State 67 Plus, in which only one example exists at that grade level. Now there's a number of them that graded out at 67, but only one in a 67 Plus. If you were able to find an example of this coin, send it off to PCGS, and it came back a 67 Plus, I'm happy to say that PCGS price guide has a value of this coin at $7,500. Okay, nice little payday. It's almost like an instant win lottery ticket. Really cool. So let's go ahead and jump into the Denver minted coin. Okay, unlike the Philadelphia coin that you saw, this one has a letter D on the front of the coin in the 4 to 5 o'clock position in that empty field right there. Again, no real shortage of this coin. There were 389,777,107 total pieces that were produced at the Denver Mint. So again, there's no shortage. Denver traditionally cranks out some really nice high quality pieces. Okay, so finding one in nicer condition than say the Philadelphia coin is easier. The highest grade assigned by PCGS is Mint State 68, but here's the thing. no pieces were ever graded 67 plus. So we had a little bit of a leapfrog type of situation where there were pieces graded 67, none in 67 plus, but there was one example that graded in 68. So PCGS Price Guide has a value on that 68 at $6,000. Okay, the one lone example that did grade out never made it to auction. Same with the 1992 Philadelphia at 67 plus. The last public sale that was anything worth mentioning was back in November 1st of 2013, in which a Mint State 67 example sold on Heritage Auctions for $1,763. So that's a coin right there that still has quite a bit of value in 67. Maybe not to the level of $1,700, but you know, there are some that are still worth many hundreds of dollars that you could find out there. So that kind of wraps up the business strike portion of it. Let's go ahead and talk about some errors that you could find and are worth money. You know, on the low end, they could be worth some money, and on the high end, they could be worth a lot more money. So let's go ahead and talk about the first coin that we have here, and it's going to be a 1992 D Washington quarter. This one exhibits a broad strike error. Okay, so you have a little bit of a thickness of the rim there. You know, this was struck without a collar. The collar kind of keeps everything in, and somehow, some way, either the coin wasn't, or the blank wasn't seated in the collar correctly, so the coin struck a little bit larger than normal. So this one right here graded out ICG Mint State 63. ICG is one of those third-party graders that not a lot of people know about. They're kind of like your bargain basement type of grading service, but they are still one of the kind of legitimate grading services out there nonetheless. This coin sold on Heritage Auctions December 30th of 2008 for $11. So the real question is, do you need to grade or authenticate a coin like this? Traditionally not. Broad strikes pretty much speak for themselves. So you could sell the coin raw, save yourself money on the grading fees, and do really well in selling a coin like this for around $10 to $20. Okay, grading plays a huge role in it, but you don't have to send it out for authentication. So the next coin that we have here is going to be a 1992 P error. This one was actually struck on a dime thick planchet. All right, so if you take a quarter and a dime and you put them right next to each other, kind of lay them on the table, the dime is going to be a little bit thinner. So this Washington quarter was struck on a dime thickness planchet, okay, which is skinnier. This one graded out NGC Mint State 64, and this one sold on Heritage Auctions February 28th of 2005 in the amount of $51. So still worth quite a bit of money. I've found one or two of these in the past, and something you want to keep in mind if you have a whole stack of quarters sitting on the table. They're kind of easy to spot because they're going to be thinner compared to all the other coins. So that's a really nice kind of error that you could find with relative ease. All right, these things are not super rare, and they do exist. You don't have to necessarily grade them. The authentication grading aspect of it just really solidifies the type of error that you do have. So the next coin that we have here is another error. It's a 1992 D, so this is a Denver minted example. As you can see, this one is missing the reverse nickel clad layer. All right, this is a coin that looks like it's seen a little bit of circulation based off of the grade. This one graded NGC AU58, and this one sold for $79 June 10th 2012 on Heritage Auctions. All right, so that's a fantastic looking example there, and it's pretty easy to kind of pick out, you know, out of a crowd of other quarters, because you know the nickel layer is completely gone, so all you have is that exposed copper core, which theoretically on this coin was struck up so you could see the details of the reverse. Pretty neat coin here. So the next error that we do have here, we got a couple left, is the 1992 D. This one is also missing the clad layer. This one is of higher grade. Okay, so this one might have seen a little bit of circulation, highly unlikely. It was probably pulled out of, you know, a brand new BU roll at one point. But this one graded Annex Mint State 63, and this one also sold for $79, December 4th, 2011 on Heritage Auctions. And finally, we have one more coin to go, and it is a 1992 P, and just like the second coin on the list, this one was also struck on a dime thick planchet stock. So this one right here is a NGC Mint State 64, and this one sold January 8th of 2007 for $126.50. Now these are all kind of like attainable type of errors. Okay, you just have to know what you're looking for, and if you see something that kind of looks off or odd to you, you know, more times than not, you know, say I have a little bit more credence as being an error that you'll want to know and possibly make some money on. Okay, these are pretty neat coins that, of course, it's very attainable, like I said. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for What's It Worth 1992 Washington Quarters. Hope you guys had a good time and that you got a little bit of takeaway on this particular video. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.